Greetings and welcome to Make It Sense. Make it make sense, I should say, sorry. Now, today we're going to discuss water baptism. And you're going to ask yourself if it really makes sense for someone to go into, whether is it the sea or the river or any kind of water, whether it's a pool or whatever. If it makes sense that they go down there and get dipped down there in a name of an entity that is on the outside, and that is known as baptism, and it is a symbol of a new life. Does it really make sense to you? Well, I'm going to show you it in a different way. And if it makes sense to you, you can always comment and say, yes, it makes sense. Okay? Now, everyone knows the story of Moses and how it really means to be born or to be taken out of the water. Because in baptism, you're going into the water and then you'll be taken out of the water. So at one point, you're dry, and another point, you're wet. Okay, well, the same thing do happen when you have a birth. You're wet. When you come out, you're dry. Now, when you were in your mother's womb, you were surrounded by water. And that is the baptism that you were given before you come on this physical three-dimensional world. So to come into this three-dimensional world, you're born by water. That's why your mother water bag have to burst. Then after that comes the blood. Okay. Now, on the other hand, there is another baptism, which is a spiritual inner rebirth experience that you will have. That experience is what would have allowed me to put a book together called The Secret Vagina Mystery of the Virgin Birth. Check it out. Sometimes people say they try to get this book on Amazon and sometimes they get a bit of trouble to get it. I don't know how come they get a bit of trouble. Okay, but it's there on Amazon. The Secret Vagina Mystery of the Virgin Birth. And with that baptism, you're gonna have a fiery experience, a windy experience, a watery experience, and a spiritual experience. And you're gonna experience yourself as pure consciousness and also experience yourself as matter. And then you will declare that thoughts become things. You will declare that mind is always before matter, that everything first exists within, because you experience that baptism. So when the Bible speaks of baptism, it is really where you immerse yourself in the truth, which is the experience that you have, because that experience will produce true knowing, and that true knowing is real knowledge. So someone taking you down into a river or in the sea or in water, it's just that the difference is that you're going to go down being dry, but you're going to come out being wet. But you remain in ignorance. However, when you get the true baptism and you immerse yourself in the experience of the kingdom of God that is within you, and you experience that Consciousness is the only reality, and there's only consciousness. And everything else is just like an illusion, a projection. It's like a mirror giving you the reflection of that which is within. Then you will understand that John the Baptist is the outer man. Yeah, you having this human experience. You first discover yourself in this fleshly physical realm. But then afterwards, you will experience the real baptism, that which is of spirit, the inner experience where you become invisible, where you become one with the wind. Okay. And then when you go about telling your brothers and sisters about your experience, they will say that you're crazy. They'll say blasphemy. They'll say stony. Okay. So you're reading your spiritual autobiography when you read the Bible, and you are thinking that it is literal and secular history that is pointing you to look outwardly. And so you end up taking allegory for history and taking personification for persons that existed thousands of years ago. Okay? And even if it have to do with persons who existed thousands of years ago, what they would have done, what they would have said, that wasn't first a thought or first an idea, or first imagine, or first mental. So there are infinite states of consciousness or awareness. And this consciousness, this awareness, you trace it back, you will realize it is your I amness, your nothingness, your energy, because you're actually a master energy. But this energy can be created or destroyed, but it can be transmuted. So you can transmute this energy into the equivalent of whatsoever you desire in this physical three-dimensional world. But when you really been baptized is when you've been initiated and become an initiate of the flame. Yeah, because the spark in you will ignite, and it will give you a fiery baptism. And you will discover your magical self, your God self. You discover the self of you where all things are possible. And you wouldn't be limited anymore. You'll think in a limitless way. So my brother, my sisters, you see, this kind of baptism that they give you and carry down in water, okay? You already had that baptism when you was in your mother's womb. You already had that water baptism. What you really need is the fire baptism. That is why, as I come to a close here, when you check out the showdown on Mount Carmel with Elijah and all of the false prophets, they had water, they had the wood, they had the earth, they had all of these things. Where they didn't have was the fire. You have to have that fiery baptism. And it takes place within. And when it happens, it brings you to a place of remembrance. And when you speak in a universal language. Yeah, the language of consciousness, the language of self-awareness, the language of the redeemed, those who would have found their true self and realized that true salvation is self-realization. Their conversation would be a universal one, because they will discover that there's only one universal consciousness and there's only one power. But it's how you definitely choose to use that power. You can use that power to kill, you can use that power to heal. You can use that power to wound and to heal, sorry. You can use it to kill or to make alive. That's Deuteronomy 2:39. Okay? So my brother, my sister, the choice is yours. Okay, so as I come to a close here, I want to say, if what I'm saying, if it makes sense to you and it really resonates with you and you haven't subscribed already, I'm definitely encouraging you to subscribe, to like, to comment, to share this video. Also, if you like to follow me on Instagram, you like to follow me on TikTok, you can definitely follow me at Black Mad Guru. If you like to get my books, the links are always down in the description. You have about 10 or more books to choose from. Also, if you want to book a one-on-one with me, feel free to drop me an email. And if you want to become a part of my Free Thinkers and Seekers University, you can do so, or you can join my Patreon community. For those who will join the Patreon, I have a course there that's called the Inner Sun Science and Technology to Create Your Reality Consciously. And along with that is a bonus course on self-concept. And those are videos that you can listen to help you in a spiritual journey. And for those who want to join my Free Thinkers and Seekers University, weekly I post a masterclass there to help you on your spiritual journey. So my last encouragement to you as I come to a close here is to make sure that you check out all of the links that are down below, and definitely let your intuition lead you and guide you into what to do. So with that being said, my brother and my sisters, I just want to say peace, love you all, I'm out.